Guys,
Hey, John, how are you?
good.
Greetings.
How are you?
Martin? I'm doing well. And Martin, you all squared away with the town email?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I apologize. I'm sure they notified me when they activated it, but I must have missed that. So, but I'm totally up to date and
Awesome, good.
I get it.
Jason, I'm
Good
sorry,
evening. I've been a little late for the previous ones. I apologize. It's been a bit of a busy month and a half.
Understandable.
Sure.
So is Jen Lesky part of this committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Jen.
Hello, good evening.
Give people a couple more minutes since this was kind of a rushed one. Hey, Craig. Just texted you. Just seeing if you were joining. Did the same with Doug. See if Kathleen's available.
I'm also on select board this evening, so I'm gonna make maybe you and John host and co-host in the event that I have to hop off, so you don't lose the meeting if you're not finished.
Okay. All right, Kathleen said she'll be 10 minutes late. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of us. Oh, goodness. Greg, do you know if Paul's joining us? Paul Kenny?
Just texting him now, Jason.
I would really like as many members possible for this. This is a
Right.
good decision that we need to make, so.
John, can you let Paul in, please?
Michelle, it's, there's nothing in here that, oh, hang on, here we go. Just promote to panelist?
Yes, please.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, if you want to give me back hosting, I can take it until I have to jump off.
No, he's coming in, there he is.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Paul.
Thank you. Hi.
All right, we'll get this started. Nan is not here to take notes for us, so can somebody volunteer to do that for me? That would be great. So I am going to start. Pursuant to MLGC 30A, Section 20B, and Chapter 20 of the Act of 2021, permitting public bodies to conduct meetings remotely, the committee will meet virtually utilizing the Zoom platform. All votes will be taken by a roll call. So, call to order to see who's here. Kathleen Burns is not. Paul Kearney,
Present.
Jennifer Lesky,
Present.
Greg McClellan,
Present.
Martin Nee,
Present.
Nan Roth, Paul Schubert,
Here,
and Douglas Schultz. Okay. All right, so first order of business, we had interviews for our RFP. We had 4 firms. I sent out earlier today their presentations. I hope everyone was able to look at them. Some of the files were large, so I hope you all received them and had a chance to look at them. Last week, myself, Doug, Nan, Martin, and Kathleen hosted the interviews. I think they went well. We rated them on their MSBA experience, if they could meet our tight schedule, how they their presentation skills, their approach, their team. Only one of them gave us references, which was fine. And they all, in one shape or another, have security experience or security consultants. That was one of the main questions I wanted to get out of all of them. I don't know how we want to break this down. I can give you a rundown of what the subcommittee ranked them all by, and then we can have any questions. I know Martin, you were there with me, so you can help me out with this. Yeah, John.
We also sent out references, reference
Okay.
checks, and we got 5 back for DRA, 5 back for AI3, 4 for Arrow Street, and 1 for Tarowski. So when it's ready, when you're ready, let me know, and I'll give you a rundown on those.
Okay.
Thanks
Yes.
for doing that. That's great.
Yeah, thank you, John. So like I said, we had those criterias. We have 5 points, at least in my scoring was very advantageous, 4 points advantageous, 3 points not advantageous, and 0 was unacceptable. So the one firm that every single member put as number 4 was Turiski. Even though they did they all did a great job, we just didn't feel that compared to the other ones, they were kind of up to snuff, on par with the level as the others. Most of us had Arrow Street at number 3, and then it was pretty tight between DRA and AI3 as 1 and 2. We had Doug, Martin, and Kathleen had a 1 ranking for DRA, and myself and Nan had them at number 2. And then AI3, myself and Nan had them at number 1. Doug, Martin, and Kathleen had them at 2. Kathleen had them at 3. So looking at the numbers and looking at their presentations, I feel it's really just down to DRA and AI3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Martin. I don't know where you were with me there.
I went back through everything, and I have not changed my position. I would say that for me, it was the ranking that was important and not necessarily the score. I felt they were all close, and I felt that all 4 of them were qualified to do the job, no question about it. So, it's a tough decision when you get down to it, but I continue to have DRA as number 1. And I'm open-minded. If people have insight that they've picked up or I'm not aware of, with AI3 working with Cohasset or anything, I'm open-minded.
Okay. John, I guess this is as good as time as any. If you wanted to talk about the references for them.
Sure. And I just let Nan in, so she should be here
Perfect.
shortly.
Sorry, I was having computer problems.
It's okay, Nan. I was just giving the group a rundown of our meeting, our interviews, and which firms ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. And we're talking about DRA and AI3 because they were basically 1 and 2 for everybody on the list. John did receive some references, so I was going to turn it over to John to talk about the references.
So basically, these references are going to be of no help.
They're all great.
They're all
Everybody
great.
was awesome.
Yeah, so basically, for both, and I'll just keep my comments to DRA and AI3 as the top 2. And I'm not looking away from you. I'm looking at a bigger screen with this insanely small spreadsheet, which we used for a Google form that folks responded to. So for AI3, we had 4 towns respond that had done studies and or more than that, Norwood, Fall River, Watertown, and Quincy. And we asked each of those to kind of score them, poor, fair, good, excellent in communication, budget control, document quality, schedule control. And they got, AI3 got 4 excellence in communication. I'm leaving out the 5th school that didn't have anything to do with studies, but again, they actually, I'll tell you both ways. 4 excellence plus 1 for the not applicable, 4 excellence for budget, 1 not applicable, 4 excellence plus 1 for not applicable for document quality, 4 excellence and 1 good for schedule, And then for those 4 schools that I said they were used, the documentation was used directly to submit a statement of interest. Kind of the additional comments, would highly recommend AI3 for any building project, regardless of size and complexity. I would highly recommend this firm for any project, nothing but positive results. Wonderful architect, would work with them again, highly recommend. For DRA, similarly, 5 responses, 1 not applicable because it was something that was not used to go forward to the MSBA after the fact. For communication, again, 4 excellents and then an excellent for the not applicable. Same for budget control, same for document quality. For schedule, 3 excellents and a good, and 1 excellent for the not applicable job. Additional comments at the end. DRA is a great designer with excellent quality control, been a wonderful partner to work with on our various projects. And then it is with great confidence, I encourage you to give DRA very serious consideration. You'll certainly be pleased with their designer services. So really, you know, one firm got a good in schedule control, and the other one got a good in, same thing, schedule control. So really very similar. I don't want to read too much into, you know, there's the firm that didn't use the DRA for an MSBA thing had a lot of comments, but all positive. So again, very similar feedback from both firms.
Okay, well, we kind of figured that was going to be the case.
Do we think there's anything that differentiates the two in terms of quality?
The only thing that, I mean, I think in conversations with Michelle, I think that there's some experience with the HVAC engineer. I think that's the only thing. For Griffith and Very, the one for AI3. That's, I think, the only experience the town has with any of the groupings.
The ratings seem just exactly the same.
Yeah, it was pretty tight between the two. For the other members that weren't at these interviews, did you have a chance to look at their presentations? Any comments, questions, feelings, thoughts? Paul Schubert?
So the one question I have, you know, looking, I'd agree, DRA and I guess it's A13 or AI3.
AI3.
AI3. They look similar. I guess the only one item that would be of interest is the size of the school that they're working on. Is that going to necessarily change how we look at it? So ours is a fairly small one. Would that necessarily modify how we look at it? That's all.
They both worked on big schools and little schools.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul, it's a good question, but it's a pretty fair cross section from between small, elementaries to middles to high schools to, giant high schools.
Yeah, because it looked like the A13, they did an awful lot of wide range of different schools. So I guess it probably a moot point.
It's gonna be a tough one because they're both really good. They both had really great presentations. Anybody else have any thoughts, comments?
I like.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on,
Go
Dan, then
ahead.
you, Paul. All
Go ahead.
right, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, well, I liked A1, AI3 because in their presentation, they talked about students and they talked about, the goals of student learning and the way students learn. And I thought that was a real plus.
Okay, Paul.
I agree. Also, too, is I thought it was a better presentation as far as it just seemed like it was more in detail. They really broke down what it's going to look like. And I just thought it was a pretty good well thought of presentation on AI3.
Anybody else? Jen?
Well, I was just happy to hear, I think Nan sort of answered my question about student engagement, because I'm sort of merging into the sort of communication that we're going to work on after this, but just thinking about the way in which a building is a building, but the way in which a building can enhance the teaching and learning that goes on inside that building and complement it. And I think that in terms of messaging, that has to be, I think that should be part of the messaging that goes on to the community, just so that people understand it's not just about new water fountains and updated systems, but about enhancing the student experience and the teacher's experience in the district or in the school building.
Kathleen, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was impressed by both of those. I actually personally, I don't want to complicate it, but I actually thought that DRA's experience seemed a little bit stronger than A13's. And I thought that they were also really focused on, all the issues that are specific to Cohasset. They obviously had done their homework. And I thought that their experience seemed really right on point with what we were looking for. But I think that both would do a really good job.
Agreed.
I'd echo that. One of the things I wrote down about DRA was they seem to really do their homework. And to me, it was like a real toss-up. But I think I mentioned in the last meeting, I noticed that not the lead, but some of the backups with AI3 appeared to be reading their presentations. And I don't mean to put too much into that, but when I compare that to DRA, what I came across with was, aside from their experience, which was stellar, they were just so relaxed and genuine and spoke, off the top of their head in a very kind of knowledgeable manner, in a way that if you were going to script it, that's what you would say. So to me, I just felt they were more prepared for the presentation, and that was probably the only difference I saw.
Yeah, it did seem like AI3 was reading a little bit too much from a teleprompter.
They were.
But
And that, that doesn't mean they're not
nope.
great or better. It's just, that's all I have to go on.
Yeah. I had AI3 first, and to Nan's point, they talked about the kids, and they also, I like the fact that they harped on to lean on them to help write the SOI, lean on them for whatever questions, comments, concerns we had with getting the SOI prepared for the MSBA. So I think that's kind of why I led more towards them, because they seem very eager to help with that aspect, which I think would be great. But that was just my take that put them slightly over DRA.
Are they're doing work for Cohasset at the moment or no?
AI3, I don't.
Yeah, no.
Griffith and Very, their mechanical guy has a lot of experience with the facilities department, from what I understand.
Okay.
Michelle might be able to talk,
Yeah.
speak more to that if she's
So-
there.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm here. So Wayne, who presented on behalf of AI3, has done some HVAC work for the town of Cohasset at both the Joseph Osgood School and the middle
that
school,
was
high
it.
school. So he
Okay.
has extensive knowledge on the buildings, which would be a great leaping off point, I guess, for someone
that's
who's going to complete this.
Okay, but it wasn't like he's fully engaged. My reason for asking was, would we already have too much on his plate? And I'm getting from that's not the case.
No, that's not the case.
Okay, that's good to know.
Anybody else have any questions, thoughts? Comments? All right, so I guess we need to make a decision, folks. I don't know how we want to do this.
if there's a super majority in situations like this, is it common or not, or is it frowned upon for other members to just make it unanimous? I don't know. What's the usual protocol? Maybe Michelle could weigh in on that.
I was actually going to defer to Paul since he's more of an expert in this,
Okay.
this type of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
I mean, when it comes down to the vote, you can ask for a revote. It would be the ones that were in the majority would ask for a revote,
yeah,
but it's not usual.
okay,
I mean, you can take a straw poll saying, what do you think first and second? Would you be willing to switch to the first if your second is not, likely to pass? Then that's how you can do it. But once the vote's done, it's pretty much, unless you ask for a revote as a member of the majority, then no.
I see. The reason I ask is, I don't mean, I don't want to take a stand, like when someone asks me to vote, I feel like I'm taking a stand. But, if 3/4 of the committee feel strongly,
Could you do
you
a
know,
straw
one
poll by
thing-
raise of hands and then a vote after that?
One option is you can say they're both outstanding firms, so neither would be slighted by not getting this
Yeah.
bid, because they're both phenomenal, and clearly the
yeah,
majority is not all towards one, it's towards two that have been weeded out. So
Right.
that's one way to get around it. But, the straw vote would be more of the impression of what the committee members feel.
sure.
That's all.
Do you want me to go through everybody, Jason, and just, I've got a little tally sheet here. I mean, we can do 1, 2 again if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to tally those up for me, John, that'd be great.
All right, so I'm just going to do it in the order that I have you guys on the screen here. So Jason, give him AI3 or DRA, who's one?
AI3.
Okay, Martin,
I had DRA.
okay. Paul,
AI3,
okay. Jen,
You're on mute, Jen.
Sorry, AI3.
Nan,
AI3.
Craig,
So I think it's fair of me to abstain because I missed the presentations. I did look at them, and if I was forced to make a decision because there was some sort of tie or something, I would choose AI3 if that's helpful to people. But I'm going to abstain on a vote officially, though.
okay. Kathleen,
I was gonna say DRA, but I think they would both do a great job.
okay. So which one are you giving your vote to?
My straw poll would be DRA, but I think I
Okay.
would be
All right, so,
convinced to swing to AI3.
okay, so without Craig's vote, that's 4 for AI3 and 2 for DRA.
You get Mr. Kearney?
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got
No,
Paul.
No worries. AI3, I think I'll get on that.
Oh, there's 2 Pauls. I'm sorry. That's what,
Yes.
that's Ruby. I apologize.
Right.
So that's Paul K. So Paul, I'm sorry, who was first, your first choice, Paul?
Would be with the majority, AI3.
Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for AI3 and 2 for DRA.
you want to make a motion for a vote?
And I have a motion to,
Go ahead.
Paul.
Dr. Schubert, if that was a motion, I'll second it.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion for a vote on the firm for going forward with the next step for the building committee.
Seconded.
Who seconded it?
So are we so this vote, just to be clear, is to vote for AI3, or are we gonna say AI3 and then those are gonna say DRA? How exactly are we phrasing this poll?
I mean, it's just for a vote, so we've already, I think the first two, well, you can vote on any of them, but it looks like the likelihood is that the top two candidates would be on the docket for the vote.
John?
Yeah, and I think the other thing to be clear here is that this committee should authorize whatever the choice is, Michelle to start cost negotiations with them, with designer selection. That's the next phase. And ideally, if you can't reach a deal with number one, you go to number two. So it's important that you have that 1 and 2 established.
Okay, so let's vote for 1 and 2. And we'll start with the roll call vote. Kathleen Burns,
I vote AI3 for number 1 and DRA for number 2.
Paul Kearney,
The same.
Jennifer Leskey,
AI3 for number 1, DRA for 2.
Greg McClellan,
I abstain, having missed the interviews.
Martin Nee,
AI3 number 1, DRA number 2.
Nan Roth,
AI3 first, DRA second.
Paul Schubert,
AI3 first, DRA second.
and Doug isn't on the call, and I am AI3 number 1 and DRA number 2.
Great.
All right, excellent.
And should we have a motion to
Yes.
put forth the next step for procuring agreement with AI3 through the town procurement officer?
Do I have a second? All right, roll call.
Second.
Kathleen Burns,
Yes.
Paul Kearney,
Yes.
Jennifer Leskey,
Yes.
Greg McClellan,
Aye.
Martin Nee,
Aye.
Nan Roth,
Yes.
Schubert,
Paul Schubert, aye.
and Jason Earls, aye. All right, Michelle, you got your work cut out for you.
I got it.
Thank you very much for all
All
your
right,
hard.
guys.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, so next on the agenda is the community outreach language. I get those emails and everything flying around. So let's talk about it, discuss it here. I think Craig was the initial author of this. So Craig, if you want to, oh yeah, John.
Hey, Jason, guys, thank you. I have to run for another meeting.
Thanks, John.
I'll see you soon. Thank you.
John,
Thank
right,
you,
thanks,
John.
John.
Thank
John,
you.
don't hang up. John, don't hang up. John, don't hang up.
Oh, I'll ruin the webinar for everybody,
Yes.
right?
Please just make me host again, please.
Hang on a second.
Sorry, panic just set in.
Make host.
Well done, Michelle.
Nice catch. Okay.
Nice save.
Have a
Thanks,
great night,
everybody.
John.
Disaster averted. Bye-bye.
All right, Craig, community outreach language. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Sure. So this was just an initial message. Again, no pride of authorship. I think I was trying to simplify the process a little bit, but Dr. Schubert, I think, veered us off the course of getting some sort of official charge brought against us for a violation of open meeting law. So we can thank.
It
him
only
for
needs to
that.
happen once.
But so at any rate, I guess what we're doing here is I was trying to elicit feedback so that we could just sort of incorporate it into a statement via email. So I guess we're just going to be going through that and doing that. Obviously, my feedback is the framework I provided you. So I have no pride of authorship. So have at it, and I hope it was generally to people's liking. It was meant to be a fairly innocuous statement, just sort of giving everyone an initial update after the first substantive steps that we've taken in the last couple months or since our formation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Craig. Yeah, I didn't have any issues with the statements. I know there's a couple that came back with minor revisions. Off the top of my head, I don't remember Jen, did you have some comments on it? I don't remember if it was you or,
No, but Kathleen did, and I really liked them. I liked her.
okay, perfect.
a lot.
Kathleen, you just wanna, what you,
Sorry, I'm a lawyer, so I'm a big redliner. I can't help it. But Craig, I thought it was a phenomenal start. The first draft was always the hardest. It's so easy to mark up a good first draft. So I took a red line to it. Take or leave any of the changes. I can pop it up on the screen if that's helpful, if anybody wants to look at that.
yes,
And
please,
then,
please do.
I should have thought before I offered to do that. Give me a second. How do I share? Do I have to get permission to share since I'm not the host?
I just gave it to you.
Thank you. There we go. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
All right, let me know when you want me to flip to the second page.
Can you zoom it in a
Oh,
little
can
bit?
you, yeah, can you make it a little bit larger, Kathleen?
I really don't know. Let me try this. Hold on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to open up in Word, not the email. And then, yeah.
There you go.
How's that?
There. Much better. You have a blank about when the high school was built.
Then
Yeah, that was
1950?
one that I said, we better get that one straight.
50? Is that right? I wasn't sure.
I thought it was 53, but I could be wrong.
Oh, this is a,
But it has had a major renovation.
yeah.
It
that I
It had a
know.
major renovation in 2004.
Okay. So I can't edit this one because it's a PDF, but I'll edit that and then recirculate.
Or you can approve it with just minor
Minor edits.
edits.
That's right.
Mhm,
That's what
okay.
what we're gonna have to do.
Kathleen, on the MSBA website, it says the school was built in 1950 with a major renovation in 2004.
4.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Fix that.
Can you scroll down a bit, Kathleen,
Mhm.
please?
Ready for the next page?
So Kathleen, may I ask a question? First of all, I think your edits are awesome. The only real question I have with any of them is your decision to strike the language regarding the explanation of why we're submitting SOI. And maybe it was up and I didn't catch the very end of the last page. So maybe that
Where
was,
is, no, let's see.
oh, okay.
What did I say? Yeah, so I think I took out, we haven't decided what exactly needs to be done. Grossly outdated, proactive approach. I think that's we could totally leave that language in. I just was, I think, keeping it a little bit preliminary, since in theory, I think if the existing condition study comes back and says school's in great shape, you can update 3 systems and call it. I thought that I would leave room for, we're gonna get a study done, evaluate it, and then decide what to do. But we can totally.
I think the less emphasis we make on what we plan to do with the SOI and with the MSBA, the way it's worded right now, we say that we expect to do this, but I don't think we should get too far down the road, because that'll be the one criticism that people may pick up on is, well, wait a minute, you're saying you're going to do something, but you haven't studied it yet. That's my concern.
Yeah, better articulated what I was thinking, Martin.
Well, I'm concerned that okay, I guess there'll be another communication before we take any substantive steps on the SOI. I guess you're right, Martin. That makes sense. Yeah, I was only looking, what I was looking to capture there was to ensure people understood that we're not making any substantive decisions without the community being involved. But you're right, Marty, absolutely right. I think we'll be back to them before this happens. So yeah,
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think once we get the existing conditions study, then we do another communication.
I think you're right. That's good. It's a really good point. I think that's a great point for sure. It's too speculative right now. It's yeah, absolutely.
But I also, I really appreciate you doing it, because I do a lot of writing and I know how hard it is to sit down in your spare time and do something, just, to get it out. So I thought it was a great document, and it would have been fine either way, but I think the less we say about what we're planning to do, the better for now.
I agree. No, this is why, we have a lot of smart people, and that's why we want everyone, eyes on it. And it's a collaborative statement. I think it's great. I love, Kathleen, I loved your edits. The only ones I saw that were sent to me before we realized the error in my ways, were just pretty much grammatical or some minor changes. But this is the first substantive change. I love it. I think it's great.
One question I wanted to ask while everybody's on the phone is this summary I did of in this first paragraph. I said we have backgrounds in education, project management, engineering, construction, public finance, and law. Is that correct? That's based on my memory of what everybody does.
You could add communications for me if you wanted, but it's fine. And,
What about medical for Paul?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Health?
I have more
Health?
experience in town hall type stuff and town, the town stuff than anything as far as medicine. I mean, you can certainly add that in, but I mean, my role here looks like it's more the experience of being on the school committee in the town.
Town government, I'll say that. Is that the way to say it?
Yeah, I mean, town government, yeah, experience in town finances and government.
One other just comment I'd like to make. I worked for a law firm for 1.5 years. And if you sent this to 5 lawyers on a committee, you would get 5 drafts that looked like this with more red than black.
Totally.
And
they would all
that's
probably
what
be
they
fine.
do. Yeah. And
Right.
So it's by no means a reflection on, the quality. It's just,
Totally.
yeah.
Oh, no. I like no pride, no authorship at all. And frankly, if Kathleen had written the first version,
Somebody else would have.
my red line would have looked like this. So we're both
Totally.
attorneys, and it's no. Guys, I just wanted this to be something we're all comfortable with, and that fairly represents everything to the public, so people understand what we're doing. I feel like it's the first small step in our PR campaign here that we're going to be needing to engage in, hopefully with Jen's efforts in the future.
I'm just glad you took the initiative.
I think it looks great. Can we vote on it with the amendments we've discussed? Just the
As
date.
well as minor edits. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
minor
I'll
edits.
move to vote to approve this to be distributed to the community with the edits that have been discussed on the call, as well as additional minor edits.
Seconded.
Second,
All right, we'll call a vote. Kathleen Burns,
Aye.
Paul Kearney,
Sorry. Aye.
Jennifer Leskey,
Aye.
Greg McClellan,
Aye.
Martin Nee,
I,
and Roth,
Yes,
Paul Schubert.
Aye.
Doug is still in on the call, and Jason Earls, aye. All right, Kathleen, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
I'll make those edits
Dr.
that we
Schubert-
just
Dr. Schubert,
discussed,
Brittany.
Jason, and then send to you.
Paul, you got a question?
Yeah, and just one quick thing. I mean, this is the first step. So we're going to be issuing these, I presume, each step we go on. We're designing this to basically explain to the town, and if necessary, to sell it to the town, whatever plan we come up with. So this is kind of the first step. And it's better to make it relatively broad and then narrow it down as we start to focus on the work at hand. That's all.
I agree.
Excellent.
so where are we sending this exactly? Where will it
To
go?
the Mariner, right, Ann?
Well,
We wanted
the
that.
Mariner, the town website. Where else?
Town email, there should be an email blast the town has. If Michelle's still there, she can probably let us know. I think that we get email blasts from the town every once in a while. We can certainly send it to.
yeah, we get a weekly update. Could it go in there?
Yeah,
Right.
Sure,
yeah.
we can
And
send it to
then-
Chris for his 5 things. He can post it there as well.
yeah.
That'd be
Perfect.
great.
And in the school community as well, all school stakeholders as well. We can do that. Have Pat Sullivan send it out.
Excellent.
But, yeah. So essentially 4 different places.
And then, but we could put it on 143
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yep.
That'd be a great thing to do.
I forget, does Chris usually post his updates on that or no?
He posts them on the town Facebook website, and then I
Okay,
think Kevin shares them to 143. I think that's
Okay.
how that works.
perfect.
Okay, excellent.
I haven't seen it on 143 recently. but Maybe.
We could always do it directly there.
We can,
Yeah, I stay far away from Cohasset 143 as the school committee.
it's fun. I'll leave it at that. The next agenda item is we need to schedule our next meetings. Just because
And
make sure that we have them around the dates that we put in the original RFS here, RFP. So we don't have to scramble like we did last time for today. So the draft report is due on March 23rd. So obviously we want to have one somewhere around there. But let's talk about February 1st. The month of February, not February 1st. Normally we do, when is school vacation?
it's the 14th week. the week of
The week of the 13th?
Yeah, after that.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think it's the
19th.
21st. It's
Yeah,
the week of
19th
President's Day,
to the
right?
27th.
It's the
Yeah.
21st, Monday, the 21st of February.
Okay.
Last week in February. then.
Okay, so do we want to have one the week before on the February 15th or push it to the week after, which would be March 1st?
Why don't we do it the week before? Make sure everything's on track with the existing conditions
Perfect.
study.
So that would be the 15th,
Yes, 2:15.
February
Yeah.
15th.
And then we could do the next one, couple days, like 2 days after we get the draft.
And we should get the
Draft
draft.
would be, yes, would be perfect because the draft comes in on the 23rd of March. So the final Tuesday in March is the 29th. So we get it on the 23rd. It gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 days to review it.
Mhm.
Got it. Maybe even see if we can bring them in, obviously, on the 29th to talk to us about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we have to keep in mind, and Dr. Schubert, maybe you'll know this better than I do, but there's quite a few steps we'll have to take before that last week in April, before we submit it, right? The town has to vote on it. So it's not just a matter of finalizing the SOI, like, we're gonna have a lot to do between when we get the
Wait,
draft.
when is town meeting? How is the town going to vote for it unless we have town meeting in there? Who knows?
I
Does the whole
don't-
town have to vote on it or just the select board?
Just the selectmen,
I
yeah.
think just the select board, because this is just in
Okay.
preparation for the statement of interest and
Yeah.
submittal. We're not requesting any funding for any construction at this time, so I think you're good with just the select board.
So in theory, this SOI could be filed at the end of April. And, the town could choose not to go for it. So my question, the reason for my question is, the key concern is people are going to think, this thing's going too fast. And we've seen that happen before with other projects, will it give us some opportunity, I suppose, through the selectmen meetings to explain the process in detail and just say, in order to not lose a year, you have to make this filing? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can explain to people, there's literally no, I mean, we're not talking about funding for years even. I mean, it's to get the SBA to even evaluate us, right? I mean,
Right.
This is the process
Right.
to even get to a point where they would even review
Yeah,
us.
you
So I
just
think
want to
it's,
get invited. This
Yeah.
is just simply a submission to get invited. And once you're invited, that's when the real rubber hits the road and you'll have to really socialize this.
Right. And then the town meeting will have its say if on any
Yeah.
funding or anything
And-
like that.
And
Yeah.
But
the
I
town
think
meeting
even-
will be in May.
But even for the SOI, right, there's a few votes that have to be, is it just the select board vote? Because the first page of the SOI is like, make sure you have the right votes, or no? Am I wrong about that?
That is what the first page says.
Yeah,
But
I think to Marty's point, I think it would behoove us, and it may even be necessary, I don't know, but to present it to the school committee first before the select board as well. Then you get two groups voting on it,
Right.
talking about it, so people understand exactly what it is. And the select board, I think they're the ones that are required. But I think it's appropriate, given our charge, that the
Yeah.
school committee also votes on it.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it says the required governing, you have to certify that the required governing bodies have voted to submit the SOI. The specific vote language required by the MSBA has been used, and the district has submitted a record of the vote in the format required by the MSBA. So I guess you're right. So it's just the select board that has to vote. So when is the select board meeting in April? When are the meetings in April?
They meet every other week.
It'd be the 12th and the 26th.
Okay. So 26 would be like super cutting it close.
I think you'd want to get it before them on the 12th. In the event that there are any modifications, you can go
Yeah.
back to them again.
Or it
Yeah.
snows or anything,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we should just think about that when we're doing our meetings, that I think maybe we modify from a Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, let's think about when the school committee meets too.
Exactly.
Right? When does the school committee meet? In April?
Wednesdays.
What?
Wednesdays.
So would it meet the same? If we had the selectmen on the 12th, then we could have the school committee either the week before the 6th or the 13th, but do they meet every week?
No, I'll get you I don't have the calendar in front of me. I'll just get it right now. Hold on a second.
And would these both be joint meetings of the board?
You wouldn't need it. I mean, you could do independent votes.
Yeah, we wouldn't need to do it jointly. We just need, again, we only need the select board to do it to submit the SOI. But I think as a formality and given our charge that the school committee should do it. So then we just get I'll just get the meeting in March. I just don't want to misquote it. I can guess, but I don't want to guess.
March or April?
Well, which I thought we were looking at March.
Well, we just said the 12th of April for the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
Greg, I think the challenge is if you're not having this meeting until March 29th to review everything, they probably wouldn't be ready for school committee until soon thereafter.
So that would be April 6th for the school committee. They're usually first and third Wednesdays, correct?
Yeah, but it bounces around, Paul, and I don't want to, I'm just trying to get the, I'm not, I don't have all my school committee stuff in front of me. Hold on, I'm just trying to get this. Give me 1 second.
Maybe what we can do is, I don't want to change anything on them, but see if AI3 can get us, a draft a couple days earlier, so we could try to meet that week of the 22nd, March 22nd.
Kathleen, I think that's definitely a possibility because when they interviewed,
Yeah,
we had discussed maybe accelerating one of the schools and
Yeah,
then
that's
finishing
right,
off the
Michelle.
other two. So maybe
Yeah.
we negotiate that.
yeah. So why don't we try to meet this board Tuesday, the 22nd? That'll give us a little more time.
Wait, I thought for us, okay. Okay, so we would meet the 22nd, the school committee would meet the 6th, and the Board of Selectmen on the 12th. I have that right?
Yes, that would work if the school committee is meeting on the 6th.
Now I kind of get.
Jason, we also need to vote on the minutes of the last meeting.
So we'll do that next.
Which, yeah, I don't think you had it on the.
I
calendar.
didn't, but we can do it anyway.
Okay, it's January 4th meeting.
Yeah, so the school committee meets on March 30th and April 13th.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on the website.
So it would have to be March 30th then.
So we definitely should make the 22nd. Okay.
Yep.
And then Michelle will talk to AI3 about maybe getting us a draft with respect to the high school a little bit earlier so that we can have that to review and talk about on the 22nd.
So as it stands now, March 22nd
Mhm.
for this meeting, school committee on the 30th of March, and then Board of Selectmen on the 12th of April.
And also for this meeting, for our meeting on February 15th.
Yeah, as a it's
Okay, yeah.
basically a check-in to make sure that all these dates are holding and see where the progress is being made. Alright. I think that takes care of that. Date-wise. So I will get with Carrie from the select board to see if April 12th is still a date that they're holding and give us a placeholder for the time being, knowing that she doesn't have to submit that agenda for months, but just to keep it on her radar. And Greg, the 30th of March will be the one for the school committee.
Okay.
You keep a spot for us.
Yeah, will do.
All right, and then February 15th will be our next one where we'll check in on everything. I think we're progressing. I didn't have it on here. Thank you, Nan, for reminding me. Approval of the meeting minutes for January 4th. Has everyone had a chance to review, look at them, comments? Or are we all set for a vote? I just need someone to make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Like,
Roll
Second.
call vote. Kathleen Burns,
Bye.
Paul Kearney,
Aye.
Jennifer Leskey,
Aye.
McClellan,
aye.
Martin Nee,
Aye.
Dan Roth,
Aye.
Paul Schubert,
Not voting when not present.
Jason Earls, aye. Thank you, Nan. And that is all I had on the agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Do I have a
Second.
second? Roll call, Kathleen Burns,
Bye.
Paul Kearney,
Aye.
Jennifer Leskey,
Aye.
Greg McClellan,
Aye.
Martin Nee,
Aye.
Ann Roth,
Aye.
Paul Schubert,
Aye, good job.
Jason Earls, aye. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jason.
Thank
Have
you.
yourselves a good night.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Night.